Welcome to the One Georgia podcast, a place where we are looking forward to connecting clergy and laity across the state of Georgia through stories where brokenness meets hope and community transformation takes place. Welcome to today's episode. My name is Rodrigo Cruz. I serve as the assistant to the bishop and your host. And I am joined by our fearless leader, Bishop Dease.
Hello.
The resident bishop of the Georgia Episcopal area of the United Methodist Church and your co-host. And our guest this week is Reverend Millie Kim, who is serving as a pastor in charge of Mountain Park United Methodist Church in the North Georgia Annual Conference. Welcome,
Hello,
Millie.
everybody.
Hello there, Millie.
Such a joy to be here.
It's good to see you, Reverend.
It is good to be seen.
Good. Well, we're going to dive right in. I want you just to take a moment just to tell the folks a little bit about you.
Well, I've been in North Georgia Annual Conference forever. I'm one of those
What's
rare
forever?
breed. Yeah. Went to college, Methodist College, and went right into Methodist Seminary and then became ordained. So I've been in the conference since 1998.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's almost 30 years.
I've seen Rodrigo's grow up.
Yeah. Amen. All right. Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your call.
It was a complicated call because when I was growing up, I grew up in an atheist family. And when I came to the United States, I went with all my friends, and that was a Baptist church. And their doctrine was women can't preach. So that was, I didn't even know what seminary was. I went to Emory College, happens to be a good Methodist college, and there I joined Wesley Fellowship, where I felt most comfortable. I've always been a hands-on person, and they did service projects for every break that there ever was. So that's what I did. Hurricane Andrew, Hurricane Hugo,
Yes.
went out to New Mexico for a Navajo Indian reservation, went out to Alaska. Every single break I was serving Lord with my hands. And that converted me.
Amen.
And I became a Methodist.
All right.
And the campus church there, Glen Memorial, was just so welcoming.
Yes.
And Diane Weber and John Simmons, they're my forever mentors and friends.
right. Well, I look at you, and you just don't look. How old were you when you entered ministry? I don't tell your age, but you look so young.
Well, thank you. I'll take that.
But anyway, so let's talk about where you're serving.
I'm
Mountain
serving
Park.
at Mountain Park right now. It's probably most diverse area in Atlanta. We're very close to Clarkston. Also, Indians, Asians of all variety,
Wow.
Koreans, Vietnamese,
Wow.
Caucasian, Black, Africans. It's the most diverse area in Atlanta, I
Wow.
believe.
So is Mountain Park becoming diverse?
I hope so.
Good.
That's where I'm there. I
Good.
would love to work with that, and we are taking different steps, and it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Sure. What do you enjoy most over there at Mountain Park?
I really love the people there. We have some good people, hardworking people. When I first got there, I told God, I was praying, and I said, God, you gave me the right match this time.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to work hard, but I'm going to have my people work hard, and that's a rare match. So that's what I'm enjoying, working hard together.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And they're working alongside you.
They're working very hard. A lot of our churches are older congregations,
Yes.
and our church is not an exception, but they're working hard, and I'm very grateful. That's a
Amen.
blessing.
Amen. So what does a typical Sunday look like for you? How long do you preach?
I don't preach long. I'm an hour person, so I pack everything in. So my sermons are usually 20 minutes, and
Oh, that's long.
well, I love to preach a little longer, but 20 minutes I stop.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know, Sunday, a lot of people They have full week. So I try
Yes.
to do a lot of visiting on Sunday, going out to eat, just getting to know people. And every time they fill out a Connect card, which is usually visitors, new people, I make sure that I reach them that day. And the next Sunday, I usually take them out to lunch or coffee or whatever and connect with them.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's almost every Sunday. So
Wow.
I'm very happy.
Okay, so this is a little bit off script.
Uh-huh.
I need your best recipe for Korean barbecue.
You have to ask my husband because he's the cook in the family.
Tell him to write up a recipe for the bishop.
Yes, yes. We'll do a cookout. Yeah.
All right. I don't know, Rodrigo, you got something for Pastor
so Millie, right, we're neighbors. I mean, and so I agree, right? You're in Gwinnett County, the most diverse county in the Southeast United States, third in the country. The schools where your girls are is the United Nations, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you get the list of the kids that are on their classes, and you can't pronounce half of them, right? I can't. So, what it would look like for churches to reflect that diversity in our walls, inside the walls?
Yeah. Diversity doesn't just mean races. It's also religion, culture, all kinds of things. So, number one for me is respect and doing life together.
Amen to that.
It's not just doing religion together.
Right.
So Mountain Park has worked hard to host Filipino Fest, Vietnamese some event, cultural events. We also received a grant from the conference, and we're about to open the coffee house where people can gather and do a book study, talk about anti-racism, talk about the issues, real issues that we're facing in the community.
Amen.
Now, Millie, tell us the name of the coffee shop.
Oh, please do.
Mountain Perk. We're very proud of it. That's another product of our hardworking
I thought it was
people.
going to be Bishop Robin's place.
Robin's Nest.
I guess not. Okay, if another
Mountain
church
Perk.
wants that idea, you can have it.
I was just in Honduras last week, and something that the people said was it just stabbed me. They said, whenever you guys come and build a church, it's used just few hours during the week. But whenever you come and build a community center, the whole community benefits.
Amen.
So I would really like to see our church. I'm not saying that we lose our identity,
Right,
but
sure.
I'm saying that people come and do more than religion together. Be good neighbors.
Amen.
Yeah. We just came off of Good Neighbor series, Curious series, which I didn't preach. Dr. Amy Barker did,
Yes.
and she did an outstanding job. I'm a traditional person, and I like to preach to people. And she brought in all these people from our congregation. It was better than I can ever preach.
Amen.
It came across it just was phenomenal.
Amen.
Yeah. I'm very grateful that we are so blessed with so many
Yes.
people with talents and gifts,
Amen.
better articulation
Yes.
than I would ever have.
Yes. Yes.
So, Millie, if there is somebody listening, and all of a sudden, a new neighbor moved to their neighborhood, right, and don't look like them, don't speak like them, don't cook like them, what would be a word of advice to go and try to start a relationship with them?
Well, it always takes conversation, right? And starting with a common point, whether it's children or neighborhood concerns or food. I'm a foodie, so I always, like you, I always start with, oh my goodness, I had the pupusas, and I've never had pupusas this way. I thought there was only one pupusa, but there are varieties of pupusas. So I always start with a common, because we share more in common
Yes.
than different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your having the desire to create a beloved community.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you for your ministry.
That's our calling.
Yes, it is. It is.
Now, Millie, you get to ask anything to Bishop Dease.
Well, Bishop Dease, down in the trenches, we kind of struggle with the biblical phrase that harvest is plenty and workers are few. And the role of pastor is shifting. It used to be, when I was in seminary, it was this great triangle: teacher, preacher, and pastor, or teacher, prophet, preacher, or whatever, that triangle. And it's morphing into something that a lot of us are not prepared. It's more like a general contractor. You got to dibble-dabble into every aspect of life, not just ministry. And, it's a high, costly job. It's costly calling, emotionally costly, physically demanding. And I'm trying to I'm trying to ask a question that how are you preparing our next generation clergy, and also just people in general, laity, church?
I think the role of pastor is not morphing, but it's expanding. So that it is probably good that you should have more than one degree in the future in order to be, because now pastors have so many roles they have to play. An entrepreneurial, business.
Grant writing.
Grant writing, all of those things. However, but one of the ways in order to make sure you're not overextending yourself is asking others. Asking lay people, asking others who may have a skill set to do that. However, we know that the role of the pastor it's becoming more and more expansive. You got to be, in some ways, a psychologist. You got to be, some ways, a counselor. There's so much now that society demands from us. And so the responsibilities are going to be significant. I think the question should be asked of seminaries. Not only seminaries, the question should be asked of local churches as well, because most of them always say, I want a young pastor. Give them, hopefully they got 2 or 3 kids with a wife who's probably musically inclined so that she can play the piano. Well, those days have changed.
Absolutely.
And so now there's more responsibility on the pastor, but I'm just hoping that we will learn how to equip persons to do the very things that the church is calling them to do. And I'm talking about lay people. Because if the pastor's doing it all, it's going to die on the vine. If you're doing it all, Millie, and you walk away from Mountain Park, it's going to stop.
Well, I can't do it all. That's just not possible.
Yes, there you go. And there's so much demand and responsibility of the pastor, and the paperwork, the administration, the pastoral care, and all of those things. And we need to equip laity because they want to walk alongside us and support us in those ways. But the actual role of the pastor as we train them, that needs to be a question asked of seminaries. Are we retooling ministers? Are we working to ensure that they learn more beyond preaching on Sunday and presiding over a funeral? Because now just society demands more from us.
Right.
So I hope that you're not doing it all. And I hope you're equipping your lay people and those persons that you are trying to engage in the community, because people don't have to be a member of the church to serve the church.
That's right.
Remember that.
That's right. That's right. That's happening at the church at Mountain Park, because we have this huge program called Lunches of Love. Yes. And it's pulling from Parkview Beta Club, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all the civic organizations, and it's beautiful when they come together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's been going on for 12 years. We just celebrated 12 years.
And we're good, especially when you're feeding people and you give them some of that good Korean barbecue. I'm not kidding, and I'm serious because I love it. I've been to the Korean churches, and their Korean barbecue is just out of this world. I just need a good recipe for myself. The first one I tried, it failed miserably. But when you're feeding people, I mean, that is the best time to ask them to serve.
Yes.
When you feed them a meal, it's hard for them to say
Well,
no.
you and I have the same frequency. I'm all about feeding people,
there you go.
spiritually and physically.
Yes, if you feed them, they won't say no. They will not say no.
Can somebody say something like that in the Bible? Right?
Yeah.
Feed people. Let's feed people.
You give them something to eat. Yes.
Thank you both for this conversation, for this biblical reminder, right? To feed people, to eat with people, to nurture this world.
Yes.
To the listeners, if you want to keep learning from Reverend Millie Kim, how to engage a diverse community, how to bring, right, the civic organizations and the public sector together to do ministry, you can find her contact information here in our show notes.
And go to Mountain Perks, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And hang out with me.
Yeah. Go hang out with Millie. First drink is on Bishop's Dease. No, because one of the greatest blessings of this Georgia Episcopal area is to pray for one another. I want to invite the listener to, as you drive around today, to pray what Millie said, what it is to become a beloved community. What is God calling us to do, to think, to speak, and to live, so we can do that. This has been the One Georgia podcast, produced by the North and the South Georgia Communications Department and recorded by our stellar audio and video professional, Robbie Pancake. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.